Why is everyone booking more sales calls than you? You see people flaunting their insane reply rates on LinkedIn, sharing their calendar screenshots on Twitter. You're trying each and every subject line and email template shared on the internet without any luck. You're sitting there with thousands of emails sent and one reply that reads unsubscribe. I'll give it to you straight. The reason why you keep failing is because you're learning from the wrong people. That's the main problem, but now you need the solution. We found the cause of your sickness, now we need the medicine to treat the symptoms. Thing is, you'll never succeed if you can't differentiate good advice from terrible. It's like not being able to differentiate salt from sugar. One day you'll spend hours making a cake that will taste awful. So if you don't want to step on a rake that you put there yourself, you need to follow these 3 steps to make sure you're not taking any awful advice from these wannabe gurus. First, never blindly follow anyone's advice. No matter who said it, no matter where you've seen it shared, don't just take some funny looking subject line and apply it to your next campaign. Don't just take John Doe's cold email template that helped him book 3 sales calls. Don't add 5 extra follow-ups just because a guy on TikTok said so. The reason being is that you can never be certain that their advice will work for you. You see, everyone operates in different niches. People are targeting different types of customers. While being witty in a subject line might work for some, if you're reaching out to fintech CEOs, it might not be the best bet. Sending 5, 7, or even more than 10 follow-ups might be acceptable in B2C, but if you do anything similar in B2B, you'll get in trouble. So if you take someone's advice without a pinch of salt, without thinking twice, you're bound to fail. It's like if I was a footballer in Europe and I asked a footballer in America to give me football advice. It sounds like the same football, but Americans call our football soccer. So the only advice I'll get is to bash everyone and run fast with a ball in my hands. And that is not the best strategy for European football. So again, don't blindly follow anyone's advice. Don't take subject line you saw online or an email template you got from a lead magnet. Instead, learn, study the examples and come up with your own copy and strategy. Of course, if you're a beginner, you might not be able to determine what's right for your niche and what's not. That's why you need to verify the messenger. In today's world, you no longer need to work hard to look credible. You can just buy 8,000 of Instagram followers, post some Photoshop results, and call yourself a cold email expert. That's why you always need to make sure that whoever is giving you advice actually follows that advice. Make sure they actually know what they're talking about and aren't just regurgitating something they heard online. A lot of people have no clue what they're talking about. They share as much crap as possible to get eyeballs and hopefully get you to buy their courses. And if you'll follow their advice, you'll fail. Simple as that. So the next time you see someone sharing the best strategy ever, the only cold email template you'll ever need, or a subject line that got 100% open rate, just pause. Double check who is sharing that advice. Is it someone who uses ChatGPT to create lead magnets, or is it a well-respected individual who has something to back up his claims? If it's the latter, feel free to learn from their advice. Now, if the last 2 tips fail, if you can't verify the preacher, if you fail to evaluate the truth of their advice, then you can do one last thing. Look at everything from the prospect's point of view. You see, the most popular advice is always about the email copy. Use subject line, quick question, use this template, blah blah blah. If you can't evaluate whether or not this advice is good, then simply take a step back and look at everything from your prospect's perspective. If you got an email titled quick question, would you open it? An email that's identical to 30 other ones you got today. If you got an email that looks the same to an email you got 2 days ago, would you think it's genuine or that it's just a template? Look at things from your prospect's POV. How would you feel to get a joke you're about to send? How would you feel to get bombarded with 15 follow-ups? Would you open the email? Would you reply? Or would you report the domain to a blacklist? Well, think about it. And if you wouldn't enjoy getting the same email you're about to send, then don't send it. Write something you'd be proud of receiving. Subscribe and watch this next. Sam out.